The big question. And to discuss that, we're now joined by Prabal Basu Roy. Prabal, many thanks for taking your time out and speaking to us at ET Now. It's a six paragraph statement that has been put out, and the last paragraph is the most telling one, where the Shapoorji Pallonji group is talking about snapping their 70-year-long relationship with the Tata Group, saying that it is time for the family to sit back, reflect on the past, present and possible future for all stakeholders. I want to understand from you, to begin with, what does this current move or the current statement that has been put out, where the Shapoorji Pallonji Group is talking about moving away from Tata Sons for good, really means for the long courtroom battle that has been ensuing for a very long time. This battle has now been going for a few years now. What does it mean now for the courtroom action that we've been seeing?
Ruchi, thanks. But I'm responding to it in a real-time basis. I'm just hearing it from you, basically what's happened. So as I see it, when two such respectable groups come to a point where there is really no point of return, the best solution is to agree for a divorce. The question here, though, is the valuation of the stock. So I think the last line which you did see is a step in the right direction, but the agreement will obviously have the withdrawal of all cases and all that as part of the package. That will obviously be there. The question is, who negotiates now? It goes now to the negotiating table of coming to a figure which is closer to that 1.8 lakh crore, which is the theoretical calculation as of today. So we'll see how it goes, but I think there is no option, because on one hand, Shapoorji Pallonji Group needs money. On the other hand, the right of first refusal is with the Tata Group, which obviously they have not given them. And the Supreme Court has held today, or probably will hold, basically that a pledge is also a limited transfer. So therefore, it's a very dicey matter. So a pledge or a transfer is a very dicey thing, and you cannot transfer unless the Tata Sons gives a permission to transfer. So that is the issue. So what else can happen? I mean, if they need this money, they need this money. So I guess they'll have to sit on the negotiating table now, and the case also, obviously, all the cases will have to be withdrawn, and that will be part of the package.
Good evening. This is Nayanthara Rai working from home. Good to connect with you today. My one question to you is that, this has been a very bitter fight. It has been a corporate boardroom battle that we've not seen since the one we saw between the Ambani brothers. Having said that, do you think it's a given that Cyrus Mistry, Shapoorji Pallonji Group can never see eye to eye with the Tata camp? Can today also not be seen as a pressure tactic? Let's not forget, just a few hours ago, the Tata camp once again said, we are ready to buy them out. They don't want to sell their shares. Cyrus Mistry camp has been wanting to pledge its shares. It's not wanted to sell its family silver in the past. Can today also be seen as a pressure tactic?
Yeah, it could be, but provided one knows the details of the case. I mean, I don't even know what this judgment was today. I'm reacting in real time. But it could be a pressure tactic. But the moot question is, if what I heard the other gentleman on the TV say, that they require this money for whatever projects, etc. They have a need for it, and they've written that in the letter. Now, if they have a need of 10 to 12,000 crores, which somebody was willing to give them as a pledge, because Tata Sons was obviously not willing to sort of provide that amount by way of a sale. So if they need the money, then there is no option. If they don't need the money, then of course it can be seen as a negotiating ploy as well. My take is, Nayanthara, is that everybody has had enough of this, and there is the NCLT you've seen has gone in one direction, the other courts have gone in the other direction. So points have been made. We all know, we've all talked about it, written about it. We know who stands where. At the end of the day, it's so messy that I don't even know what's the point of staying together. So if I was in their shoes, I would have also taken this way out. Question is, what are the terms of the divorce? What are the terms of the settlement? I think that is what the negotiations will all be about. That is my take. At least if I was there, I would have advised them that, yeah.
Prabal, as you're saying that it will all really boil down to what are the terms of separation, the terms of the divorce between this group that has been together for almost 70 years. I just want to understand from you, what do you think will be the key challenges as they arrive at the terms of separation during these times? Because there's not only the fact that they've been together, they've been involved for a very long time, and there are a lot of companies where they have a stake in. There's going to be a difference on the valuations. There's going to be a difference because of the impact of COVID-19 as well.
Yeah, I mean, COVID-19 is only a trigger. I mean, COVID-19 per se will not change much. But COVID-19 is obviously a trigger for both the groups, including the construction business of Shapoorji Pallonji. So yeah, it will be messy. So I mean, it's the lawyers who will now, a different set of lawyers will come into the picture now who have capabilities of financial restructuring. Just like it happened during Mani's time when they split such a complex business into two parts. This is also going to happen at this time. The only difference is that there was a mother, Kokila Ben, who was there as a calming influence. In this case, there will be nobody. So it will be acrimonious. It will be acrimonious to some degree, but depending on the level of desperation, I think one party or the other will have to give in. That is what is going to happen, unless which is probably absolutely not possible, I think, in this case, but unless, like the AGR case, the Supreme Court takes on a negotiating role as well, of negotiating the best bargain, which obviously is not their role. They did it in AGR case. So there'll be no calming. My point is there's no calming influence in this particular case. It'll be lawyers all the way. I don't know if there's any person who is acceptable to both groups who will sit down, make them sit on a table and sort of do a peaceful, dignified settlement. Because, like you rightly said, at stake is, say, 1.8 lakh crores. And the other hand is a slew of cases. I mean, it's not one case, as you know. I mean, there are a slew of cases. So how do you withdraw from those cases? All that will have to be seen.
If you look at this breakup of the 1.78 lakh crore rupees, hi, it's Nayantara again. It says for the total calculations, for the number of shares and all of that, it says that the total for the listed shares, it's 7,79,000 crore rupees. For total unlisted is 44,000 crore rupees. For the Tata Sons brand value, it's 1,46,000 crore rupees. So, so if you're going to see a clean break, then this is classic negotiation as well, right? That you ask for something much higher, the other camp will offer something much lower. And I guess, that will have to be settled if it's indeed going to be a clean break.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because these numbers are astronomical.
Yeah, it will be a financial negotiation. And this is ideal ground for financial negotiations. The financial negotiations of restructuring. This is ideal, but it's very acrimonious, and there is no, like I said, there is no Kokila Bene here. So, so prepare for a long drawn thing here too. And the stakes are pretty high. Yeah. But yes, I mean, on the other question that you asked earlier, I think they cannot work together. I mean, this is the right thing to do. Actually, this is the right thing to do. There's no point. There's just no point when you've come to this sort of stage. So both can go on with their lives as usual, but this thing will have to be sorted out.
Right. Prabal, the Shapoorji Pallonji group has also said that they've realized that the litigation is not going to help anybody, and you yourself are pointing out that this could be a long drawn process between the two parties so that they are able to come to some sort of a resolution. There's no mother here in this case. Having said that, in your estimate, whenever such kind of situations do come, we do see corporate boardroom battles. How long and painful can the process really be?
This is a matter of tactic, and this is a matter of how the people involved in it think. The places where I have been involved, obviously on a much lower stakes, so to speak, my guiding principle has been: don't try and de-escalate to the best extent possible. Try and de-escalate. This is something which I don't see happening here. I unfortunately don't see it happening here because, like I said, both sides have such stringent positions, and there is no one with an inverted commas godfather or godmother who can make them sit across. Not that I know of, at least. Unless there is somebody who comes like that. There has to be somebody like that who comes in between and sort of gets them to see reason, both sides. So that is the concern. So if it is to de-escalate and declutter, then that is the best thing to do. Just declutter the thing, figure out what it is, and de-escalate. But it's easier said than done, obviously, when egos are involved, massive egos are involved. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It really depends on them. It really depends on them. It depends on the parties concerned.
For all of you that are now tuning in, the big story unfolding is the Cyrus Mistry camp and Shapoorji Pallonji have put out a press statement. It's 1 page long, where they say with a heavy heart they think it's time to separate their interests from Tata Sons. The current situation has forced the Mistry family to sit back and reflect on the past, present and possible future for all stakeholders. The past oppressive actions and the latest vindictive move by Tata Sons that impact the livelihoods of the wider SP group community leads to the inexplicable conclusion that the mutual coexistence of both groups at Tata Sons would be infeasible. The SP-Tata relationship, spanning over 70 years, was forged on mutual trust, good faith and friendship. Today, it was with a heavy heart that the Mistry family believes that a separation of interests would best serve all stakeholder groups. So after this, there is an annexure giving what the Mistry family believes is its rightful share for the shares they own, more than 18% stake, including the brand value of Tata's, coming out to be a staggering figure of 1.78 lakh crore rupees. Wrapping that up, and Prabal, if I can now come back to you. We've been talking to you about various situations. There is no mediator. There is no Kokila Ben-like person here, a mother who can, make two warring brothers sit down like we saw in the Ambani saga.
Yes.
It's going to be financial in nature. It's going to be up to the lawyers and all of that. But, I understand it's going to be an off-market transaction, whatever it might be, in case they do go ahead with a clean break. But for the shareholders of the various Tata companies, the various employees, the thousands and thousands of employees of the Tata Group, will it be business as usual?
Well, see, the business as usual part was affected when the battle actually took place in 2016 for few months, maybe. That time was bad because there was a lot of uncertainty. This is really a shareholder issue between two shareholders, and that too of a group holding company. I have been in such situations as well. Generally the directives by the management at that point, the CEO, CFO, the management, whoever is in control, is that, guys, continue with your work. This doesn't affect you in any way. And since there will not unlikely to be any large-scale dumping of shares, so to speak, which was the case which I had handled, there's no dumping of shares possibility here because these are private companies, between two shareholders. So therefore, there'll be no implication on the stock market per se. And therefore, that's the other thing which people get very perturbed about and all of that. So I don't think there'll be any management related disturbances, so to speak, as for the functioning of the group companies are concerned.